Morning, folks. It is about 2 o'clock in the morning. And we have the moon in the sky. And some clouds, a little bit of real even misty clouds up there. Notice how it's only the clouds in the immediate vicinity of the moon that are gathering any of the light, is gathering any of the light emitted by the moon. But that's not what I'm questioning here. Right now the moon is at the sun's approximate 4 o'clock in the afternoon position. And it's not quite a full moon. Let me zoom in, get past some clouds maybe. There we go. Now let me zoom back out a little bit. Not quite a full moon. Pretty close. But the sun's on the other side of the earth right now. So how is it that the moon is nearly full? Shouldn't Earth's shadow be covering the moon? How is this sunlight? Is this gravity bending the light right around the earth and bringing it back together so it can travel on forward to the moon so that the moon can reflect the sun's light? Is that what you ballers really believe? Something like that? I mean, for real. The sun's completely on the other side of the earth right now. It's totally pitch black out here. Completely dark. So how is it that the moon is reflecting the sun's light? Must be one of those, oh, you just don't understand moments, huh? Sure is funny, folks. You know, at the beginning of the spinning ball theory, it was just a spinning ball theory. And then the people were questioning certain aspects of the spinning ball theory, such as seasons and why it's not 12% or 12 hours of light every day and stuff. So they had the tilt of the earth and the spin, and that these spinning ball professors, they really don't understand all of the artificial changes that have been made in attempting to perfect the spinning ball earth, all the theories that are in play, all the effects that are in play, just to endorse and support the spinning ball Earth. But yeah, the scientific study that was just released pretty much solidifies what we already knew. But regardless of the evidence presented, you have that faction of spinning ball lovers who are never going to accept the reality that they've been lied to. NASA could come out tomorrow on CNN, Fox News, all them mainstream media channels and endorse the reality that they've been lying this entire time since their conception, and you still have that faction of people who are just going to absolutely deny the reality that NASA was lying, even though NASA come forth and tell them that. You know, so at this point in time, folks, I mean, it is important what the shape of the Earth is, but it's not important what the shape of the Earth is. What's important is that you continue to fund the illegitimate government paying for your demise. I was looking at the statistics on military killed for some reason. It wasn't for some reason, it was because I seen where the police assassinated this 22-year-old black kid in his his grandmother's, backyard. He was holding a cell phone. And so it brought me to an old channel an old site that I used to frequent back a couple years ago, and it's citizens killed by police. Yesterday when I was looking at this site, folks, there was already over 300 American lives taken by the men in blue ISIS, if you will. They're the terrorist organization, folks. There have been more civilians killed in any given year since this site in 2013 started taking record of the American civilians killed by police. There have been more Americans killed by the police than combatant soldiers in military conflict since 2001. Every year, there has never been a year since 2001 in military conflict that more Americans were killed in battle than Americans killed on their homeland by the police. Not one year. Compared to the 100 police officers killed in the line of duty, 150 to 200, whatever it is. But then you got to realize that many of them killed in the line of duty, it don't matter if they're sitting on their ass eating a donut having a heart attack, it's considered killed in the line of duty. It don't matter if they're doing some high-speed fake-ass chase, just have their lights and sirens on and crash for the thrill of high-speeding it in a canyon. It's still killed in the line of duty. And so far there's this year it's only like 16 that's been recorded. But since the 1900s, it's been averaging at 100 to 180 every year since the 1900s. But y'all just continually pay your tribute to the state, pay your tribute to the Fed, license your car, license yourself, vote. You support the system. Most every one of you support the system by doing such foolish acts. You continually murder your own brothers and sisters by doing so. You continually murder young men, women, and children abroad every time your government drops a bomb or shoots an innocent as a casualty of war. You're liable in the afterlife, whether you believe it or not. This government does not have your best interest, folks. No government does. Their only interest lies in staying alive. That's why they can't have self-thinking people, critical thinking people, people with understanding, people sharing the truth. It's not going to get any better, folks. I have a feeling if everybody was to secede from the government tomorrow, just go in and change your tax exemptions allotment to exempt or 9 even, to absolutely minimize your role playing in the game of murder. And if everybody just let their license plates lapse and quit going in and getting new identification cards, these fuckers are gonna turn the power grid off or something and go hunker down in their bunkers that you built for them. You funded it and you constructed it. You designed it, just like you do the power creating facilities that we have in operation today, such as the mines and the wind farms and the solar farms and the nuclear fire power plants and the coal fire power plants and the dams. You civilians, you built it, every bit of it. You created it in your mind through the design. You paid for the man to design it. You paid for the prefab of the materials used to build it. You paid to ship the materials to the facility. It don't matter if it's even the fuel refineries. You civilians created it. You funded it. You built it for the creature comfort. But you then give it to these corporations that you also created and allowed to be created, so that you could buy this power that you created back from the entity that you created. It's sick, folks. Like I said, things aren't going to get any better. These pedophiles and sadists have their cameras all in position now. Your every move is monitored. If not by your computer and your microwave oven, by the street lamp cameras, the traffic signal cameras, the sidewalk cameras, all the surveillance. Them cameras, they run on minimal solar powered backup, mind you. And all these sadists, once they turn the power off and they're hunkered down in their underground bunkers that you built, they're going to be sitting there and watching the live Hollywood production, the actual live. It's not going to be Hollywood production. I phrased that wrong. The live production of the fall of humanity is, if you think the few drug addicts who are running around pillaging on humanity for their addiction, to fix their addiction, if you think that's bad, if you think the 300 civilians killed by police officers this year alone here in March, yeah, they're killing over 100 civilians a month, folks. The men in blue are. I'm jumping around a little bit, but that has to do with you paying them, and then you allow them to do it. They are killing you with no repercussion whatsoever. In fact, they're getting paid vacation. But back to the fall of society here, when they turn the power grid off, you're not going to be able to go into a store. The stores are going to be pillaged and fucking pulled drives goods anyway, because the truck drivers aren't going to be driving because they're not getting paid. It's going to get really ugly. And if you think, like I was saying, if you think the drug freaks running around stealing and pillaging a little bit for their habit is crazy, wait until you have 300 million human beings that are starving to death because they don't know how to grow and gather food. They think that food comes from Walmart. They've got their game plan together real well, folks. They've had plenty of time to perfect this spinning ball lie. Why do you think it's so hard for people to accept the reality? Because they have reversed engineered it so intensely that it's almost flawless. But there's just too many loopholes. Because if you really think, oh, Harp's running really well tonight too. I just looked up for Polaris. I can see Polaris, but I was gonna say, if you really think that Polaris, the light that you're seeing from the star Polaris, is really 433 light years old, that light emitted from Polaris is over 20 generations of humans old. You got fucking rocks in your head. Excuse the F-bomb, but come on, get real. That's ludicrous thought. And that these planets are light years away. It's I don't know what to tell you. That's just how deep the indoctrination goes. The gullibility of the people. I'm not really blaming you though, because you were young and impressionable when they would put you into this indoctrination system to make you believe that you lived on a spinning ball. But yeah, I just don't know what to think. These guys that are the upper echelon elite are going to be in their hole watching the murders happen on the street corners as people are struggling to feed themselves. And they got this all planned out, folks. Though you've never played a role in their game so far, other than funding their ability to make it this long, and the havoc and chaos that you've funded with the military industrial complex and the killing of your own brothers and sisters. That's the only role you played. You have no role in the political body on what goes on. You really don't. It's just a ploy to make you think you do. That's what this politic is about, just making you think that you have a say. When was the last time anything that you thought would be beneficial to humanity was passed through legislature? You know? You just got to think about it. Think about how in the heck that moon can be full when the sun's on the opposite side of the earth. Shouldn't there be eclipses of the moon almost nightly in a full moon? For real. Because it follows the same path. You wouldn't just have one once every few months. It follows that same orbital path. It's a timepiece. The moon is a timepiece, folks. So regardless if they say it's got a 5.14 degree slope out of Earth's ecliptic, it would follow it every time in its 27-day supposed cycle. The fact is, the Earth or the moon orbits above the Earth about once every 24 hours. It ain't out there held in space and the Earth's spinning around and it's chasing the Earth, and that's why it moves around in front of us and changes and it takes a month to get around. No, it orbits overhead once every 24 hours and just continually loses its charge until it gets closer to the sun and it's out of charge or whatever. I don't know exactly, and I ain't gonna claim to know how the moon works. But it's definitely not no 239,000 miles away. And the sun definitely ain't no 93 million miles away. Both of them entities are right above our heads and orbiting around. You sure are. If you haven't watched that Convex Earth or whatever that documentary is, I didn't have to watch it, but I went ahead and sat through it anyway. And it didn't tell me anything that I didn't already know. But yeah, them elites are just going to be sitting back and watching the chaos, folks, and you're going to be the stars in the production they're going to be watching. But it's not going to be a Hollywood production. It's going to be real life chaos. So the people are not going to have their iPods when they turn the power off. Can you imagine how these kids and the people nowadays are going to react when they don't have their electrical device to keep them occupied 24 hours a day? You can't go anywhere without seeing people on the fucking Satan in their hand. The devil, whatever you want to call it. The evil thing. People don't understand, man. I don't pack mine around. I do for certain things when I have to go on the road, but I don't. If I got to go on the road, it goes in my car and in my jockey box, and I don't even acknowledge it until I'm to my destination. I mean, for the most part. Sometimes I get a hankering to make a video. Usually that's with someone sitting there to film me or whatever, but I don't even know where I was going with this. I see I'm already down to 2 minutes left. How time flies when you're not even knowing you're talking. So anyway, folks, I suggest you all hunker down and get ready, because now that the flat earth reality, the whatever this plane of existence is coming more obvious, there's going to be more people that are going to be seceding from government, and the more that do it, the faster it's going to start happening, the snowball effect. And if you think these elites are going to just stand by and let themselves get caught up in the chaos that's pursuing them, you got another thing coming. They're going to hide. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. I don't know if I'll be able to get anything. I was going to try to zoom in on the moon, but there's a heavy cloud cover over it, really. It's just that I'm, right now, locked into it. See? I mean, it's not that heavy, but it's a complete cover of it. I probably could have zoomed in if I would have zoomed in real slow, rather than try to do a full zoom. But that's one of the HAARP bands that are right over the moon. It's been there. The whole sky is covered with that HAARP vibration. And the moon just happens to be